Hey, what's poppin'? It's your boy Jay the Comedian. How y'all doing today? I'm doing great. I know I haven't made a video in a while, but ignore that. I'm back now. Appreciate it. But before we get to the video, this is the ExJw video, so you know what to do. Hit the like button and leave a comment to help the YouTube algorithm show it to as many people as possible. Support the cause, baby. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe. You have very nice sweat glands. Yes! Yes! A sweat glands compliment. You have no choice but to subscribe now. Nobody's gonna compliment your sweat glands, especially the ones under your arm. But anyway, in today's video, I basically want to talk to you guys about there should be things that you could say to people that would wake them up. You know, I mean, if I say certain things to you, it should wake you up from whatever you believe in. But with Jehovah Witnesses, it don't matter what you say to them, they're going to stay asleep, I guess. So in this video, I'm going to tell you the things that should wake up Jehovah Witnesses, even though it doesn't. But anyway, let's get to the video. Let's go! I'll play that again. Okay, so in today's video, I basically want to talk to you guys about you should not live in any type of position where your mind cannot change. Basically, you should never stand in a position of your mind can't change. I don't care what you're saying. That is just something that should not happen. There should be something that you could be shown or somebody could tell you that would change your mind about something. You know, for instance, let's say I didn't believe in aliens, which I totally do. If I was just at home chilling, minding my own business, and then all of a sudden, boom! Oh my God, what was that? Oh, hello there. It's me. I'm an alien. This is a probe. It's going up your butt. A probe? That looks like a flashlight. Well, it's not a flashlight. It's a probe. And it's going up your butt. Oh, I can't believe it's an actual real-life alien who showed up out of nowhere. This is incredible. And y'all really be putting probes up people's butt? Actually, I'm gonna put this probe up your butt. I'm putting it up your dingling hole. Huh? That is way worse. We know, it's much worse. Now come here. Ah! You see, that experience will make me change my mind 100%, like instantly, if that were to happen to me. But the point is, I feel even on a certain level, even if something that dramatic happened to the Jehovah Witnesses, they wouldn't change their mind. And they should. And that's what the point of this video is. I'm going to tell you things that 100% should change the mind of a Jehovah Witness. It should wake them up. So let's start off with one of the biggest, most obvious things. They have a secret book. I know your reaction is like, a secret book, Jay, are you serious? A secret book, shepherding the flock of God. Yes, this is a real book. And you know why you don't know about it? Because probably you're not an elder. But guess what? If you went to talk to an elder, I'm not even sure if they tell you that the book exists. But they should, because that is a real book. And why would they have a secret book? Why would they have a book with a bunch of laws and regulations as to what you do to somebody who's inside the organization who commits a sin? Why do you need a secret book for that? And this is the thing. That's not even the worst part. That's not even the worst part. The worst part is that if you happen to be in possession of a vagina, you cannot even look at that book. Only men are allowed to hold the book and bind it and stuff like that. If you're a woman, you have nothing to do with that book. You can't even look inside of it. What could possibly be inside of a book that's so bad for women that they don't even allow them to look at it? Come on, people. That should wake you up right there. And there's some crazy stuff in this book. For instance, if a husband does something that brings about a judicial committee, his wife doesn't need to be there. If he say, I don't want my wife to know about this extramarital affair, I'll just handle it with you guys, she can't come. But if the wife does it, and the husband says, nah, I think I need to hear all about this. What did you say the milkman did? He is 100% able to go to her judicial committee and she has no choice. If he wants to come, he can come. Those are just little nuggets inside of the book that they're trying to keep away from the women because, oh, it's much more. For instance, if somebody is attacked by someone and they take too long to report it, they must have wanted it to happen. Little stuff like that. This book is bad. If you are able to get your hands on the Shepherding the Flock of God book, like I have, this book should wake you up. It probably won't. That's the point of this whole video. It's not gonna wake you up. But anyway, there's much more. Let's move on to the next thing. Okay, for the next thing, I just need to see where you stand on a basic issue. Do you believe Jehovah is fair? Do you believe Jehovah is righteous? Do you believe that he's just? Like he loves justice, he loves righteousness, and he loves to see people happy. You believe that? Because if that's your standing position, that's a good standing position. That's a really good damn standing position to have. So let's use a little logic, okay? There are over 4,200 completely different religions in the world. Now, I'm going to just throw out the fact that where you're born, who your parents are, what your parents believe as far as religion. I'm going to throw away all those factors, which would make this number much bigger, and just stick with the 4,200 number. It's more than that, but let's stick with that. For you to be a Jehovah's Witness, your chances are 1 in 4,200. So your chances to live and get to paradise and enjoy the world or whatever, your chances are 1 in 4,200. Those are your chances. Now, if you believe God is fair, you believe God is just, and you believe that God put the scripture, hey, I'm gonna, resurrect the righteous and the unrighteous, then you should also believe that no human can tell you what God is going to do. Because first off, the chances of you getting the right religion is 1 in 4,200. Those are bad, unfair numbers, right? When it comes to somebody's life and taking somebody's life, those are bad numbers. So if you believe God is fair and you believe God is just, then how can you believe when somebody tells you that you're going to die in Armageddon if you don't do this, that, and the third? First off, there's going to be a resurrection of the righteous and the unrighteous, meaning that at the end of the day, no guy is going to tell you what God is going to do, right? The same way you can't go to my dog and ask my dog, hey, what is Jay's plans for next week? I doubt my dog could give you a good explanation of my plans for next week. Even if you could talk dog, dogs would be like, what is a plan? Like they don't understand, they don't get it. They don't think on the same level that we think. So you got to kind of think about that as far as God. God would be on a completely different level, not on our human level. So how can a human tell you what God is going to do? How can you listen to 8 men in Warwick saying that we're inspired by God when they constantly get stuff wrong? They need new light all the time. This should wake you up. It probably won't though, but get you thinking at least. Logic should never hurt you. Applying logic and reason to situations should always help. That's just what I feel. To the next point. Okay, the next thing that I could tell you that should wake you up is something that it keeps getting pushed back and pushed under and pushed around and stuff like that. But if we're going to sit up and we're going to apply reason and logic to certain things, let's apply it to everything, right? When was the first time you were told, and not by somebody, right? Not by just some random rank and file Jehovah's Witness. When was the first time you heard over the stage or you read it inside of a watchtower or awake somewhere that the world would be ending soon? When was the first time you heard that? Was it recently? Did they just start saying that? Like, oh, they just started saying that last week. Soon hasn't come yet. Because if it was anywhere around 100 years ago or 70 or 50 or something like that, because I remember seeing certain articles where they said you may not be able to finish high school. And that was in the 70s. They said that you may not be able to, there's no time to go to college. There's not enough time for you to have a career and build up something to lead to your family after you die, because you're not going to die. You're going to be in paradise. When was the first time you read in an article published by the Watchtower Bible Tract Society that the world would be ending soon? When was the first time? Because if it wasn't recently, then that means that was a false prophecy. They said that the world would be ending soon, and it didn't. That's the same as me saying, hey, the world's going to end sometime next week. And then 2 weeks pass. I just gave you a false prophecy. That should wake you up. If they're still saying soon, like, oh yeah, soon. If it was soon back then, imagine how much sooner it is now. Do they know how time works? That's not how soon works. If I say, hey, I'm going to come over later soon and give you your money and you don't see me for 5 years, I could expect to get punched in the face as soon as I see you again. Because that's the way time works. You can't be saying stuff is going to happen soon and then decades and decades go by where people could have filled their time getting the education they need, getting the career that they wanted, doing the things to help the world progress. If you're not doing that, if you have not done that, because you're waiting for the world to end really soon, and it didn't, they haven't even had the Great Tribulation yet. We're still waiting. This should wake you up. It's probably not though. Anyway, to the next point. Another thing that should wake you up about the Jehovah Witnesses is the fact that they're not helping humanity at all. Like, let's just really think about it. Over the last couple decades, medicine, technology, science, all of these things have been moving pretty fast, especially technology. As humans, we're trying to catch up to technology because technology has gone so far, like with social media and information. There's so much information out there that we as human beings are still trying to catch up to that. And we're having a hard time doing it, if I'm being honest. But the point is that when you're a Jehovah Witness, you're not allowed to really push humanity forward. You know, you're just kind of sitting there waiting for humanity to end. Now, just think about any righteous, loving, fair, just God. I would think he would want society to move forward. And if you believe that, and you believe that you have a brain that really enjoys getting information, really enjoys learning new things and seeing how amazing things are, it kind of makes you want things to get better. It kind of makes you want to get involved and push humanity forward, right? But you're being told to ignore that. Now, they'll let you get a job as a scientist or somebody who makes technology and stuff like that, but as long as you don't spend too much time doing it. But that doesn't push humanity forward. To come up with something that's earth-shattering and amazing and really helps humanity, usually it takes a lot of time, energy, and dedication. Can you really do a job doing that type of stuff as a Jehovah Witness, or will they counsel you about putting material things first? Like really helping push humanity forward. Going to school to become a doctor, going to school to become a scientist, going to school to become the person who created the Zoom meetings. You know what I mean? If you're being honest with me, answer me this. Do you think that person was a Jehovah Witness? The people, not just one person, because I'm sure it took a group effort, the people who created the ability for you guys to Zoom your meetings, do you think they were Jehovah's Witnesses? The people who sat down and broke up all the science and made all the technological advances necessary for you to have and enjoy your Zoom meetings, do you think that they were Jehovah's Witnesses? Because you're taking the hard work and effort, blood, sweat, and tears put in by other people so you can, make advancements as far as like being a Jehovah's Witness. I think that that's something that should wake you up there. Like, it's something about not pushing humanity forward that's kind of like, yo, that's messed up. What are you doing? I know a bunch of people inside the organization who could sing their butt off, who were incredible athletes, who were smart as a whip, and all these talents just got wasted away. They robbed the earth of these people, these amazing people and their amazing talent, and they used them to just stay in the organization, go to meetings, go out to field service, card witness, stuff like that. But they never got to be the amazing person that they were meant to be. That should wake you up. I got robbed of that. You got robbed of that. The entire world got robbed of that. The person who could have cured cancer or cured AIDS or did any of these amazing things in the world, they could have been a Jehovah's Witness. And instead of doing that amazing stuff to push humanity forward and do such great deeds to help humanity, they just had to meet learning the same stuff over and over again. This should wake you up. It's probably not though. Let's move on to the next thing. One of the biggest things about the Jehovah's Witness organization that should wake you up is also one of the subjects I'd be completely remiss not to bring up. It is a subject that has caused a lot of court cases, a lot of broken up families, and just hurt individuals altogether. Now, what is that? If you don't know, one of the biggest fights that the Jehovah's Witnesses are involved with around the world is protecting child predators. And these are people who prey on children inside the organization, who hurt kids sexually. Now, this is one of those subjects whereas when you hear it, you may not believe me, but this is also an easily researchable subject. If you want to start off, let's start off with the Australian Royal Commission. It happened a few years back, and Australia had an entire court case where they brought in governing body members to talk on behalf of the Jehovah's Witness organization. And at the end of that trial, they concluded that the Jehovah's Witnesses were not taking necessary and reasonable precautions to keep kids safe. And not only did they lose that case, they didn't change anything. They kept doing what they were doing. They have a secret, they got a secret book, and they have a secret database full of files from people who've done things to kids. They send in little blue envelopes. And even in the book, the Shepherding the Flock of God book, It says in this book, if you come to learn of somebody messing with a kid, the first thing you do, the immediate thing you do is contact the Jehovah Witness legal department. Not call the police, not check to see if everybody okay and report the person to law enforcement. No, you contact the legal department to make sure that the witnesses will be okay and safe. It don't even say like, okay, after that then call the police. It's like, no, call us. We'll handle it from there. This is not the way a God-ran organization would do things. If God actually ran this organization, there would be no secret shepherding the flock of God book. There wouldn't be no rule about women being able to look at it. When did God stop being transparent? When did God have secrets? Really? The most powerful person in the world needs to keep something secret from you? Really? I'm not buying that. Children should be protected. And it's very simple. Inside of an organization where if you talk negative about the organization, you haven't come out and did nothing too bad yet, they'll let the entire congregation know that you are a marked individual. You are a danger to the congregation because you're speaking negatively about the Jehovah Witness organization. They will mark you, and you know this to be true. But if somebody is accused or even found guilty of hurting a kid, that they say nothing about. They will not mark that individual. They will not have a special talk marking that individual and keeping the congregation safe, which is supposed to be shepherding the flock of God. If I were to shepherd anything, if I were to have a bunch of sheep or something like that and I saw some wolves around, I would try to protect my sheep. And it's funny that they use sheep because a shepherd doesn't love his sheep. A shepherd only wants the sheep for the wool and for the meat. You know who slaughters most of the sheep? The shepherd. He uses those sheep until he can't no more. And once they're no longer of any use, he kills them and he eats them. That's really, really weird that the Jehovah's Witnesses love to use the shepherd and the flock metaphor, you know? But that should wake you up, but it probably won't. Let's move on to the next thing. The Jehovah's Witnesses accept forced worship. That should not be a thing. You understand? Like, nobody should be forced or coerced into doing something that they don't want to do. Now, I know you're sitting there, oh, what? They're not forcing and coercing people into doing what they want to do. Okay, let's say you're a baptized brother or sister. Whatever you are, I got love for you. It don't matter. And you're in the congregation, and for some reason, you don't want to be there no more, and you want to leave. You don't think it's right. You're going to go. You're going to, okay. Now, that's the thing. You're born and raised as a Jehovah's Witness. All your family, all your friends, everybody who you've been allowed to associate with since birth are Jehovah's Witnesses. Everybody. And if you no longer want to be a Jehovah's Witness, how are those people supposed to treat you? Your family, your friends, your entire social network. How are they supposed to treat you if you no longer want to be a Jehovah's Witness and you leave? They're to treat you like a disfellowship person, meaning no association, no contact, cut them off. Imagine starting life all over again without everybody you've ever met and grown to love. A lot of people would choose not to do that. Most people would rather say, you know what, I'll just stick around. I know it's not real. I could just, fake it till I make it. And even though that's a possibility, they keep that rule in place. I always give this metaphor. If I pay somebody $100 every day to say that they love me, could I then eventually count on them loving me and being there for me and just loving me no matter what? No, because I'm giving them $100. They could be just saying it because I'm giving them $100. So if you're a Jehovah's Witness and they, you got your family and friends and if you leave, you're going to lose your family and friends, then how can you then say, hey, I'm here for God? How can you really take anybody's position inside the organization, especially if they're born and raised there and that's all they know, as genuine? How you know they're just not scared of losing their family and friends, destroying their relationship with their husband or wife? How do you take that serious when there's such an obvious thing hanging over their head that could literally just take the wind out of the entire sails of, hey, I love this God and I love this organization? If you were to still allow people to associate and be with their families no matter what they choose, then you could say their love is real. You could say their love is genuine. And who knows, maybe they won't feel as obligated to, leave or feel like they can't come back. Because that's the thing. You can come back as a Jehovah's Witness. If you leave, if you want to come back, you can come back. But the thing is that if you're baptized and you want to leave, they make it very, very hard to leave. And that should not be a thing. The disfellowshipping, the shunning, all of that. For somebody simply choosing to leave should not be a thing. It should not be a thing. Even in the prodigal son illustration that they love to use, did he have to write a letter to come back home? Did he have to do anything other than just come back? No, he just came back. And that was it. And father was like, hey, he returned. And even his return was kind of like suspect because he lost all his money. Where you gonna go? You were just eating with pigs. You squandered all your money. You had to come back. It's not that hard. I've been to college. I know what it's like. I wasn't in college that long. But I know what it's like to leave and then have to come back home for some weird reason. You know? And that's not a good example for what they do. Because when they kick somebody out, you gotta write a letter. You gotta make every meeting for 6 months straight. And you gotta do all this, that, and the third in order to get back. And you know what? Sometimes they make you wait years. 5, 6, 7 years. You know, like it's crazy sometimes, you know? And another little nugget out of this book. I'm gonna keep showing this book because there's some crazy stuff in here. If you commit a sin, even if it's a gross sin, right? Like something that you could definitely 100% get disfellowship for, as long as nobody witnessed it, as long as you're not like pregnant and there's no like obvious evidence of it happening and you don't tell nobody, after a couple years, all is forgiven. There's not even a need for a judicial committee. You know how many people told on themselves and got disfellowship? Hey, I'm one of them. As long as they would have just kept their mouth quiet. Don't you think that would have been some beneficial information to tell people? Like, hey, if you commit a sin, just shut the hell up. Just shut up. After a couple years go by, you're just fine. It's like it never happened. Is that fair? Is that just? That should wake you up, but it probably won't though. So that's all I got as far as this video. I hope you guys all really enjoyed it. If you liked the video, please hit the like button and leave a comment to help the YouTube algorithm, as I said before. And also, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. I appreciate all the love. I appreciate all the support. And yeah, I'm going to be making these a lot more. I hope y'all having a great day. It's your boy, Jay the Comedian. Holla at your guala. Deuces. Actual real life alien just showed up out of nowhere. This is incredible. And y'all really be putting probes up people's butt? Actually, I'm gonna put this probe up your butt. I'm putting it up your dingling hole. Huh? That is way worse. We know. It's much worse. Now come here. Ah! Oh, I can't believe this actual real life alien just showed up out of nowhere. This is incredible. And y'all really be putting probes up people's butt? Actually, I'm gonna put this probe up your butt. I'm putting it up your dingling hole. Huh? That is way worse. We know. It's much worse. Now come here. Ah!